sick, but I don't know I'm that sick.
Right.
So I look over at my mother's picture. I went on and said, Mom, look at me. Just look at me, Mom. Look at me. And then I looked at her and looked like she was saying, go ahead. Go on to the hospital. I said, I went down the hall and told a friend of mine to dial 911. And I said, tell the ambulance to come to this address. When the ambulance came here, they came in here and they said, what's wrong? I was like, I don't know, I'm just swelling up and, you know, I got some other issues, but, you know, right now, I don't understand what's going on. And they said, let me take your blood pressure. So my blood pressure, there was no blood pressure. They said, we can't get it. It was whispering on one the other day. No blood pressure, right? So they said, let's put in the ambulance. They took me out of here, put me in the ambulance. Got to the hospital. The doctor tried to take my blood pressure. There was no blood pressure. Then finally, the doctor said, wait a minute, oh, look. Then they said, did something to me, and they put the heart things on me and everything. And they realized after they tried to get some blood, I had really no blood. They said, wait a minute, they ran some tests, and they said she got 2% of blood in her whole body. He said, you don't live. Said he came back to the hospital and said, how in the world did you make it here?
Wow.
How are you walking around here dead, walking dead?
Wow.
Said nobody live off 2% of blood or 8. Those are two numbers you don't live off of. He said somebody upstairs loved you. The doctor told me. Right? So, meanwhile, I'm back at ICU. They gave me 7 pints of blood. And I turned into an old woman, about 90-something years old. Skin was peeling off and everything. And then my family, they called my son up. They called my sister in Florida. My aunt had put the word out.
Right.
Said, Carol's at the hospital. She's sick. You know what? They called the hospital and they said, you might well get here because she's not going to, we don't think she's going to make it. You know, she's not going to really make it. Need to get here and maybe guys bury her. This is what the doctors told him. Chris on the phone and told Phyllis. Phyllis got in her car from Florida. She started rolling. And my sister had MS, you know, and she rode that whole road from Florida by herself. My son came down from New York with a suit in his bag saying, I got to bury my mother. I got to bury her. When they got there and seen me, they said to themselves, yeah, I know she ain't going to make it. And everybody that looked at me said she ain't going to make it. She look like she's dying right now. You know. And everything. And I just was laying there, I don't even know I'm that sick, right? And then I started eating something, and I started throwing up, and then the rest of the blood started coming up, and they took me back to ICU again. They said, she's not going to, you know. And said, Chris just walked away, you know, my son and everything. Oh, my God, you know. And Phil said, let's pray. Everybody prayed. He called everybody around town. Pray for Carol. Pray for Carol. She ain't going to make it. Doctor said she ain't going to make it. God took and turned the whole thing around. Then next morning, I was refreshed. I looked around, right? I heard my son in my ear saying, Mom, you can do it. You can do it. You're strong. You're strong. Come on, Mom. Come on back. Come on back. Right? And I heard him, and I kind of lurked up, you know. I said, And I started looking around. And each day, I started looking different. Started feeling better. And the doctor was like, come to my room and said, who am I? I said, you're my doctor. He said, what year is it? I said, I told him, he said, what's the president's name? You know, because they just thought I wasn't going to be no good.
Wow.
And he looked at me, he said, you are a miracle. He said, you're a miracle. He said, somebody you ought to be thinking right now every day because you were not supposed to make it. You were dead already and didn't know it. You know what I mean? So I just thank God. I just thank God for turning this around where everybody thought I was going. They thought they were going to sing some solos at the funeral.
Okay.
It was ready. My family, they brought us all back together.
Yep.
Okay? Back together as one. But like I said, it came with some stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I had to go through something, you know, and everything. But I just thank God that He just gave me another chance.
Yeah.
To breathe again, you know what I mean? Another chance to do right, you know. And I'm going to take this chance and take it like that and run with it, you know what I mean? And I'm just going to try to hold on to God until He just do something for me, work this whole thing out. And where everybody knows, they already know it was nothing but God. Anybody that know me, and everybody that see me right now, they say, girl, you look good. You know what I mean? Oh, you look good. You know, you don't look nothing like you did at the hospital. And right now I'm cooking my nephew some greens. Some macaroni and cheese?
Oh.
And you tell me that ain't God. It ain't God, huh? You tell me.